Hi, I'm Rebecca with the Parent Teacher Bridge, and welcome to Mailbag Monday, where I take time to answer questions from parents like you who are searching for answers to best help their children learn. Before we begin, make sure you click the link in the description to get my free guide, 5 quick tips to immediately help your struggling reader. Why did my child write a letter backwards when I know she knows better? This last week, I had a parent concern when she saw her child's paper with the backwards J. The parent commented, "She knows how to write a J. Why did she do this?" Well, there could be several reasons. Number 1, she may not have had enough practice writing and getting her thoughts down to have that letter solidly in her visual memory. The same thing happened with my son, not only for confusing letters like B and D, but also for letters he didn't use all the time, like J and Z. Once he was writing more often and had gentle correction, it was no longer a problem. Number 2, she may have been distracted. We don't go to school with our children, and therefore we don't always know what the classroom setting is like or what's going on at the time the child was doing the classwork. Just as we as adults can get distracted and write things incorrectly, so can our children. And last of all, number 3, she just may have been in a hurry. We can all make errors when we rush. So, when your child brings you a paper from school and she makes an error that you know she knows, ask questions to see if she can figure out the reason. Try to not point out the error and see if the child can find the mistake. This can even be done with a smile, so as not to be too negative. Definitely take your child's personality and current mood into consideration. If she finds the error, brag on her for finding it, and then address how she can avoid having it happen again. Whether that be slow down, double check with a chart on the wall, or ask the teacher to move her away from a disruptive student. How do I teach my left-handed child to write when I'm right-handed? Did you know that left-handers make up about 10% of the population? They also make up about 40% of my family, with my husband and oldest son both being left-handers. So, to the parent concerned about your child being left-handed, I empathize. I was worried about the same thing too. I researched how he held his pencil and whether or not it was considered acceptable. Now, I could say that I have 3 children, and the 2 right-handers that I have not been any easier to teach writing. I used to think that it would be difficult to teach my lefty how to write since I couldn't place my hand over his hand to write like my mother did with me. I was forgetting one important thing, however. I allowed my mother to teach me how to write with her hand over mine. And to this point, none of my 3 children have allowed that, not even the right-handed ones, so this concern didn't even matter in the end. So as I started to see that my son favored his left hand, I started researching what I could find out on proper pencil grasps. The dynamic tripod and the dynamic quadrupod are a couple that you might look at. And what sort of scissors would work best, and so on. I learned that there were several acceptable pencil grasps, how he would need to tilt his paper, and that safety scissors that had plastic on the blades did not work for him. I knew even then that I did not want to frustrate him on these basic fine motor skills. I went on to purchase children's scissors that only had plastic on the handle part of the scissors. And looking back, I'm glad that I took that time to provide an environment for him to cut appropriately, because now I know that having scissor practice better prepares the hand to write with a pencil. I would recommend to parents of lefties that they allow their child to use their strong hand, and if that is the left hand, so be it. If you are unsure or your child favors both equally, you can foster that talent as well. It is surprising to see how children can use different hands for different skills. My left-handed son, for example, bats right-handed when he hits a baseball. If you have a child that doesn't seem to prefer one hand over the other, my opinion would be to mark the hand with a bracelet, a rubber band, or a stamp to use the same hand consistently for faster improvement in writing. The same strategies for correcting pencil grip will work for right-handers and left-handers alike. Fine motor skills activities, using half-size crayons, strengthening hand with scissor cutting, and writing on a slightly inclined surface. The research that I read said that sometimes children won't officially prefer one hand over another for writing until they are between 5 and 6. For my own son, however, it was certainly clear before that. But to be safe, keep an open mind as you observe. If you know your child is left-handed, be sure he learns to speak up at school and let the teachers know. If an adult tries to help him write right-handed and he doesn't let them know, it could be confusing for him. Left-handers do not have to hold their pencils awkwardly, nor do they have to be messy writers. Don't be afraid to do your research and see what occupational therapists for children have to say. Our next question is, should my child know his ABCs before kindergarten? Ideally, yes, your child should know his ABCs before entering kindergarten. Now, there was once a time when kindergarten was just an introductory time for elementary, where children learn to work together, behave in school, be away from mom and dad, and also get acquainted with pre-reading skills and early math. But kindergarten is not the same as it was 30 years ago. With most school standards, your child is going to be the best equipped for school if he knows his ABCs before kindergarten. But let's talk about what knowing your ABCs means. Does it mean you sing the ABC song? Well, that's a great start, but it doesn't mean your child knows them. Knowing the ABCs implies the child can recognize and name all 26 letters, uppercase and lowercase. That might sound like quite a bit, but let me assure you, there are endless games, apps, shows, and books that will support you in exposing your child to these ideas. Really, a child can learn to name the ABCs just by playing with them and grown-ups talking with them about their letter names. If you feel a little late in preparing your child, maybe you just have a few months left before kindergarten, or your child has already started. Don't be too disheartened, but do be determined and focused. Children are like little sponges and can soak up these quicker than you think. Keeping letters in the environment around your child can help, like on the refrigerator, flashcards, foam letters for the bathtub, or just traditional ABC blocks that you can stack. And most importantly, talk about the letters when you're out and about. We see letters all the time. Ask your child to identify them or ask them to search for a particular letter. You do not have to teach the letters in any particular order. Some parents find it's helpful to start with the letters that are in their child's name. Now, there are a few letters that are easily confused for children entering kindergarten. It is still normal to mix up a few of the letters that look alike. My advice is to keep working on those and look for an idea to tell the difference between them. Knowing most of the letters before kindergarten is far better than not knowing any at all. Think of what you will be doing for your child's confidence in starting school. Most children are excited to be big kids going off to school at that age. Let's not give them a negative experience with school if we can help it. If you find that your child is not picking up on learning the ABCs as quickly as you think he should, still play with the letters and have fun. But look into some professional resources concerning dyslexia. Sometimes there's a very good reason why it takes a little longer for some children to learn than others. But that is even more of a reason to start identifying them before kindergarten and reaching out for help if you need your child evaluated. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, comment below which idea you liked best. If you'd like to ask a question for our mailbag, please leave your question in the comments section below. Don't forget to click the link in my description to get the free ebook, 5 Quick Tips to Immediately Help Your Struggling Reader. Subscribe to my channel and make sure you hit the subscribe button below. You can also find the Parent Teacher Bridge on Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to visit my website, theparentteacherbridge.com, for more help with your child's learning. Remember, you are your child's most influential teacher.